This is local news from AFN Vicenza.
Good evening, I'm Special Scott Malone. A little later, we'll get the lowdown on this year's 4th of July festivities, and we'll find out what goes into a change of command ceremony. But first, the Vicenza Dental Clinic, like most everyone else in the military, is being forced to do more with less. You may have already noticed some problems getting an appointment for routine care, especially if you're a dependent or a retiree. Army Sergeant Gordy Bloom reports that help is on the way, but it might take a while to get here.
The early summer months mean PCS season, and this one has been especially tough on the folks at the dental clinic. In just 2 months, they've went from a staff of 5 general practitioners down to 3, a reduction in their workforce of 40%. The even worse news is they aren't scheduled to receive a replacement until November or December, and even then they are only getting 1 to replace 2. Sound familiar? Officer in charge, Lieutenant Colonel Bill Bashan, explains how they deal with the shortages.
Well, we have to monitor our appointment schedule very closely. We work closely with the NCOIC and the front desk to monitor who we get in, and unfortunately our priority system has to come into play where, of course, our first priority is active duty, and we have to give the majority of the appointments to them. Following them are the active duty family members, and then unfortunately last priority is retirees and Department Army civilians and family members of retirees.
Colonel Bashan also explained that he knows the community is frustrated, but hopes they understand.
Well, I think they're understanding. They don't like it any more than we do. We would like to be able to treat everybody possible, but I think they're aware of the problems. This is a problem that happens almost annually in the military community. There's a big changeover in personnel in the summertime. This summer happens to hit us really hard. And I think military people are used to that, and they're understanding, although, again, I'm sure they don't like it any more than we do.
All the news from the clinic is not bad news, however, as they are scheduled to receive a children's dentist at the end of the month, and they've already received a new oral hygienist.
Right, that's one bright spot for us. We've had a new hygienist assigned here probably about a month ago, so right now we have three personnel cleaning teeth, and that's the one area that they can get appointments relatively quickly. Probably within a month of their exam, they can get their teeth cleaned. So, and that looks good for the rest of the summer.
Colonel Bashan also stressed that if the problem is severe, there is sick call every day, twice a day, for immediate care. Thursday mornings are particularly good for family members due to active duty sergeant's time training. And even though they are short-staffed, they are meeting the USERA average for family member care, and in some cases, such as orthodontics and pediatrics, exceeding it. Tomorrow night, the NCOIC of the dental clinic has advice on getting appointments. Army Sergeant Gordy Bloom, AFN Vicenza.
This is local news from AFN Vicenza.
Good evening, I'm Special Scott Malone. A little later, we'll continue our look at the Vicenza Dental Clinic, and in sports, a nail-biter last night in men's rec softball. But first, Major General David Barato relinquished command of CTAF in a ceremony earlier today on Hoekstra Field. Army Sergeant Roland Smith covered the event and files this report.
There was change in the air as Brigadier General Jack Nix took command of the United States Army Southern European Task Force. The ceremony began with a parachute demonstration, followed by an 18-gun salute to the guest speaker, General David Maddox, Commander-in-Chief of the United States Army Europe.
Your appearance, your discipline, and your morale is clearly evident. You look super. And you're a visible demonstration of the Italian-American partnership that you have strengthened and built into an award winner.
After outgoing CTAF Commander, Major General David Barato, inspected his troops for the last time, he was presented with the Legion of Merit Award. Mrs. Barato received the Outstanding Civilian Service Medal for her work within the CTAF community. The CTAF colors were passed from CTAF Command Sergeant Major James Kesnick to Major General Barato.
The pride I feel for you, and the pride that you should feel for yourselves will never change. The love I have for you will never change. The leadership that replaces me as eminently qualified as it has been in the past to carry on with CTAF's rendezvous with destiny.
From him to General Maddox, and finally to the new commander, Brigadier General Jack Nix.
The numerous and diverse missions of CTAF will surely challenge us in the coming months. The world has changed so quickly in the last 5 years that even the map makers could not keep pace. And with that change, CTAF's mission has increased in importance. We must all remain focused and ready for the yet unseen challenges.
The ceremony ended with various units from CTAF passing in review. In Vicenza, I'm Army Sergeant Roland Smith, AFN News.
Brigadier General Nix has been selected for promotion to Major General pending congressional approval. Saw how the dental clinic has had their staff reduced by 40%, causing some delays in the appointment process. So tonight, Army Sergeant Gordy Bloom is back with some advice on how to get those elusive appointments.
For cleaning.
With the current staff shortages at the dental clinic, it's been hard to accommodate all the requests for appointments, especially for family members and retirees. The NCOIC of the clinic, Guadalupe Escobar Shank, explains just how the process works.
Appointment, what they can do is they can call or they can come in to schedule an appointment. And the first thing that we do is for an appointment, we schedule an exam. And once they are in the system, we hope to continue with their treatment so they're not put on the waiting list.
Once you request an appointment, the turnaround time for active duty is 4 to 6 weeks. For family members, it can take 2 to 3 months, and for retirees, also 3 months. The clinic asks that you please be patient, but if you really need to get in, you have to be persistent.
They may also call on a daily basis to the dental clinic and find out if there's been any cancellations for the day. They may call in the morning, they may call in the afternoon, or they may also come in and sit in the dental clinic, bring a book with them, and they can just sit as what we call on a standby basis, and if there's a failure throughout the day, then we'll go ahead and work those patients in.
Sergeant Escobar Shank also added that the clinic doesn't mind being called. In fact, it seems the days no one calls is when they have the most cancellations. And remember, for dental emergencies, there's sick call Monday through Friday, twice per day. Army Sergeant Gordy Bloom, AFN News.
And that wraps up local news on this Wednesday. I'm Special Scott Malone. Enjoy your evening.